Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Brianna, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you lovely people are all doing well today. I missed you so much. I know I've been gone for a hot minute, but I am back now and back with another video for you guys. So today's video, if you cannot tell by the title already, is going to be another period 101 video. I've done one of these, actually I think 2 of these in the past couple of years, and you guys seem to really enjoy them and really like them, and I know you guys have always commented how they're always so helpful, but I'm always updating like my advice and tips on periods and stuff like that, so I thought I would go ahead and do another video for this year and share with you guys a new app that I've actually found for periods and started using, and then as well as some tips and tricks and new products that I've started using as well, and also give you guys some of my advice, and that's basically pretty much it. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. So without further ado, I know this is probably going to be a little bit of a lengthy video, so I'm going to go ahead and hop right into it, but I do want to mention, if this is the first video you've ever watched of mine and you're not already subscribed, I would love it if you would join the family. We are almost at 100,000 subscribers, guys. That is insane. So go ahead and click that subscribe button down below. It's somewhere down there, and I also have it linked in the description box. So yes, without further ado, I love you so much, and let's get into this video. So first and foremost, before I jump right into the advice and telling you guys about periods and things like that, I do want to mention a new app that I actually found recently called Clue, and it is free to download on Apple and Android phones, which is what I love about it so much. But I recently found this app called Clue, and I found out that it was the #1 period tracking app by doctors and researchers around the world, so I think that is awesome. What I love about Clue is that it helps you track your menstrual cycle / your period, and it allows you to predict when your next period is, to predict when you're going to be PMSing, to predict when you're ovulating. I love that so much about it. So if you guys are just beginning to start your period and you want something that's going to help you track your period or be able to track your symptoms and enter in your symptoms and etc, I would definitely recommend downloading Clue. Main thing that I love about Clue is you can go onto the app and you can enter in your mood for the day or your symptoms for the day, what you're craving, which I think is awesome because I think it's like a whole new way to predict your period and how you're going to feel. Obviously you never know how you're going to feel each month, but I just absolutely love the idea of this app, and I had to share it with you guys because I came across it and I was like, this would be perfect to put in a period 101 video. Also, another great thing about Clue is it sends you notifications on your phone / reminders of when you're about to start your period or when you're PMSing, things like that, which is what I love about it, because sometimes like I will forget about my period and completely forget that it's about to come, and then I have my Clue app and it's popped up as a notification on my phone that you're about to start your period, and I'm like, wow, like that is such a lifesaver. Also, I love that Clue is accurate, clean, simple, and it's just an all-around easy app to use. It's nothing funky junky and it's nothing confusing. It's really easy to use and easy to get to on my phone. I just think it's so cool, and it's a brand new way for young girls like yourself, or if you're older, that's okay too, but for younger girls that are just starting out their period to be able to track it and be able to find a way to store everything, which I think is awesome, and it's completely private. It's on your phone, so only you can really look at it. So definitely you guys go download Clue. I'll have a link to download it in the description box. If you have any questions about the app, definitely ask me because I've been using it for a while and I can definitely give you guys some tips and pointers on how to use it. But with that out of the way, let's get into me talking more about periods and what to expect, symptoms, etc. But just keep that in mind that Clue is a really nice app to use in the future when you might start your period, or if you've already started your period. It's a really great app to start using, so definitely recommend it. But I'm first going to start off on probably what everybody is curious about, and that's probably how do you know when you're going to start your period? Well, you don't really necessarily know exactly when you're going to start your period, but you will go through a PMS stage, which is pre-menstrual cycle. That's what it stands for. So you will be experiencing some pre-period symptoms that will kind of, you know, trigger your body like, hey, what's going on? This is something new. So I'm going to share with you guys my personal experience and a couple of symptoms that happened to me. I've been on my period for 5.5-ish so years now, I believe. So I remember way back when what it felt like and how shocking it was to me. So the first thing that I really probably experienced was weight gain, and I'm not even gonna lie, I went through that stage where I was just like bloated all the time right before my period, and I gained some weight, I was holding water fluid, things like that, and it was just like I didn't know what was going on. And then obviously the cramps. My stomach started cramping, but I was fairly young when I started my period, so I was like, oh, well, maybe I'm sick. They're kind of not really telltale signs, but definitely talk to your mom or your parent or guardian about it if you're not really sure. But also this video that I'm making is here to help you guys, but this is just kind of my personal experience. Everyone is different. Experienced cramps, bloating, headaches was a big thing. I had a lot of headaches pre-period and nausea. I would get really nauseous, and like I said, I always thought I was sick. This was like a couple weeks leading up to my first ever period. I kind of felt like sick, so I wasn't really sure, you know, what it was. But then a couple weeks later, I was like, oh, pulled up my pants. Hello, you started your period. Mother Nature came to surprise me. So definitely, if you get to that age where you think I'm about to start my period, definitely look for those signs, because that is what happened to me. Like I said, not everyone's different. You might experience completely different symptoms, and this might not help you at all, but I'm just letting you guys know, so maybe it could help you. But my personal experience from when I first started my period was the day after New Year's Eve, and I was getting ready to go back to school after Christmas break, and I went to go take a shower, pulled down my pants, and there was brown stuff on my pants. And that's another thing I want to talk about. You're probably like, well, why is it brown and not red? That is because a lot of times when you're younger and you start your period for the first time, it's not going to be full on period. Like, it's not going to be full heavy flow. You may have heard this a lot, where periods are going to be irregular and they're not going to stay the same for the first few months that you're on it, or when you first start your period, they are going to be very irregular. So a lot of times you won't bleed like full blown, you won't bleed super heavy. You'll spot either brown or red, and you won't bleed all the time, is what I'm trying to say. So for me, for the probably first 2 periods that I had, so like the first 2 months of my period, I was spotting. I wasn't so much bleeding, so I didn't have to wear pads or tampons yet. I just wore panty liners. So if you guys are like me and you don't have a full-blown period for your first period, definitely talk to your mom and see about wearing panty liners. If that's not enough for you, definitely maybe consider a pad. I wouldn't recommend starting out with tampons right when you start your period, just because, especially if you've never, used a tampon before and it's your first period, I wouldn't want to have to worry about dealing with that or trying to learn it. If you can fly with panty liners or pads, definitely go that route, because I used a tampon a little too early. And if you guys didn't see my period horror stories video from a couple weeks ago, I'll link that down below, but I used a tampon a bit too soon into my period and it got stuck and I couldn't get it out. Well, eventually I got it out, but it got stuck for a while and up in my vagina, and I couldn't get it out, and that was a horror story. So definitely don't let that scare you though. If you want to use tampons, but if you were young like me when I started so long ago, but if you were young like me when I started, don't use tampons. Like, I was scared to stick to panty liners or pads. Really quickly, I want to talk to you guys about a couple products that I love as far as tampons and pads go. I use both. Sometimes I switch. If I don't feel like using a tampon, I'll use a pad. If I'm feeling a tampon, I'll use a tampon. But my 2 favorite brands for tampons and pads are Always and Tampax. So I'm first going to start out with pads. These are the pads that I use. They're the Always Infinity Flex Foam, and normally I try to get the ones with the wings on them so they can fold under your underwear. That way, if you bleed through down your leg, it's not going to get on your pants or anything, and it's just going to stay really secure. But these are my favorite to use. They look like this. This is what a pad looks like, you guys. You've probably seen it millions of times before if you've researched this type of stuff, but it looks like this, and then you open it up and it's a pad. This is like really, really white, but it looks like this. Like I said, normally I would try to get the ones with the wings, but this is just all I have on hand right now since I've been using tampons recently. But these, I believe, are regular flow. Normally, oh, these are heavy flow, actually. Just kidding. These are heavy flow. So, normally for pads, I like to get heavy flow. That way, I won't have to worry about changing it like every 2 hours. I like to get one that's just going to soak up everything. I know it may sound gross. Pads are probably like, oh, you're wearing a diaper. But if it's that case, if you want to wear a tampon, girl. That's all up to you. So those are the type of pads I like to use. And as for panty liner brands, there are so many brands that sell panty liners. Pretty much every tampon distributor or pad distributor that sells feminine products, they sell panty liners as well, so you can find them anywhere. I don't actually have some on hand to show you guys, but I definitely recommend Always Infinity panty liners. They're the same brand as the pads that I use. So let me tell you guys, I have finally found the brand of tampons that worked for me, and I have went through countless brands of tampons. I've used Kotex, Playtex, Always, and I finally have used or started using Tampax Pearl Active. You don't have to be like an active person to use these tampons, but what I like about these tampons is they are 20% slimmer than your average tampon. So I got the variety pack, so it comes with light flow, regular flow, super, super plus, and ultra, which I don't think I'll ever get past regular flow or super. I probably would never use the ultras because those are huge, but I like this because if you are using a tampon for the first time, I recommend going out and getting this variety pack, because look how small this tampon is. It's the light one, and you're going to, this is the first actually tampon I think I used when I first ever put a tampon in, and I had a breeze doing it. It didn't hurt at all. Yes, it feels a little uncomfortable. I know you guys are probably worried about that, like, does it hurt when you put a tampon in? Yes, it feels uncomfortable, like, it's something new, but it doesn't hurt to where where it's gonna make you cry or cringe or like, you know, clench up or anything like that. It's easy. As you can see, this one's very, very slim, very, very slim. It's 20% slimmer than your average tampons that you would buy at the store, which is what I like about this. Even the regular and the supersized tampons, like for this same brand, they aren't very much bigger than this one, which I think is awesome, but the cotton inside still absorbs your blood, and it's going to give you the same blood absorption, and I don't even know if that's a word, but it's still going to give you the same absorbency, and it's going to work great. But I love this tampon brand. I love this tampon brand. I think it's great for beginners. Also, I think it's a great all-around tampon brand, even if you've been on your period for a while and you just want to try something new. I definitely recommend Tampax. Like I said, they also have the regular size tampons in here, the super plus size tampons, which are a little bit thicker than the regular and the super, and then the ultra tampons, which are a bit big. So I like it because it has a variety, because you never know when you're gonna bleed light, when you're gonna bleed heavy. Every period is unpredictable, and anyone can tell you that. So that is kind of my go around with tampons and pads. If you guys have any questions about anything I mentioned, or if you want to share some products that you like to use when you're on your period, definitely leave some comments down below. Help some sisters out in the comments. Also, obviously you guys know, if you're experiencing cramps or fatigue or nausea, your doctor or your mom will tell you, take some Advil, take some ibuprofen. Well, Advil or ibuprofen wasn't strong enough for me, so I took Midol Complete. I know they have a Midol teen that you can take for younger kids, but like I mentioned, my symptoms used to be so bad. I took Midol Complete. I took 2 capsules every 6 hours as needed, and it really, really helped me. Midol Complete made my bloating go away, which I loved, because being bloated was something that I had to live with for like 2 years until I just started working out more and started, experiencing lighter periods from being active, which I definitely recommend. Being active can definitely also help improve your periods, which I've noticed, but I used to get so bloated all the time where I wouldn't even be able to fit into my clothes. So go out to the store, purchase some Midol Teen if you would like. That works just as well, but I feel like for me, as I'm older, Midol Complete works more for me, but they do have a Midol Teen if you're interested in that. That's just my personal experience. If Advil works for you, if you want to take Advil, if it helps with your cramps, go right ahead. But I felt like Advil took away my headache, but it didn't really take away any fatigueness or bloating and things like that. Midol is like more targeted towards periods and that type of stuff, so I definitely recommend that if you're looking for something to take to help ease the pain. I do want to mention you might experience some mood changes or mood swings. I always notice, and this is just my personal experience, the week before my period or the week when I'm PMSing, I experience awful mood swings. Like the week before I start my period, the week before I PMS, I'll be in a happy, giddy mood, and then all of a sudden that Monday will roll around, I'll be like, I'll hate everything, I'll hate the world, I wouldn't want to talk to anyone, and it would just like flip a switch and I'd be a completely different person. Like my mood, and I could always tell, I would always get in this dreary, like I don't want to do anything, no motivation type of mood, and that's when I knew. Like I would also have the pre-period symptoms on top of that, like the bloating, the tiredness, the headache, the spotting if I did spot pre-period. But that's something to always look out for. It's kind of like mood changes or something like that, even if you're gonna start pre-period. But that's always something that I experienced before I always started my period, like the week before. So now that I've gotten all of that out of the way and talked about periods and products, I do want to mention a couple more products though. I did talk about tampons and pads as products, but I want to mention a couple more products for you guys that I like to use just to help me out a little bit, just to give me that extra boost in my period. So sometimes, and I've experienced this, during your period you will smell down there and you'll start to stink, just because, even if you do take a bath every day or take a shower and wash down there every day, you still might during the day where you're bleeding and bacteria is obviously letting out of your vagina, you might stink a little bit down there. So I found that I really like to use the Playtex Sport Body Wipes. Playtex sells these in packs at the grocery store in the tampon and pad section, so you can really get these anywhere. You can also get an off-brand. I've seen them everywhere at the grocery store, but these are Playtex Sport Body Wipes, and I just use them after I use the bathroom if needed, to just kind of wipe down there and make sure I'm extra clean, I don't have any blood stains anywhere sticking to me, and it's really, really convenient. And then also, if I smell a little bit down there to where I can kind of smell it, you know what I mean, it's just uncomfortable, I use the FDs, which stands for Feminine Discreet Sensual. It's the hypoallergenic feminine deodorant spray, which is what you can use down there. I use this, and this is the baby powder smell, so it doesn't smell awful. It kind of gives you like that fresh, like baby's bottom just out the shower smell, if you know what I mean. But you can also pick this up at your local grocery store. This is what it looks like. It's also in the pad and tampon section at your grocery store or your your drugstore, wherever you go to get your feminine products. Another thing I do want to mention lastly in this video, now that I've gotten all that out of the way, if you are a person that is scared to tell your mom or your dad that you've started your period, please don't be scared. Or if you're in a situation where you started your period and you live with only your dad, or you live with like someone else that's maybe a male and not a female that you might be uncomfortable to tell or talk to about your period, do not be scared. I started my period when my mom wasn't home and I had to go downstairs and tell my dad I've started my period. It is human nature. Every woman goes through it. Everyone experiences it in their life, so it's nothing to be scared about. Don't be scared about your period. Take this video as an advice video and take it in to help you and take all these thoughts and tips into consideration for you guys. I really hope this video helped you. I love making these videos every year because, like I said, I'm always finding out about new things, like the Clue app I mentioned earlier. I think that is a lifesaver for me. I was always finding out about new medicines to take to help ease pain on periods, and the new products, of course, like I mentioned, the tampons. So it's just kind of things that I learn over time and I like to share with you guys. But sorry if this video was a little lengthy. You guys know me and I talk so much, but I just wanted to make sure that I got everything in there for you guys that I wanted to say. So without further ado, I love you guys all so much and I'll see you in my next video. Alright guys, love you, bye!